Thank you, and welcome to our Faith, Family, and Freedom program. This is Andrew Phipps, and I'm always excited about having you be with us. Wherever you might be watching on whatever television carrier, thanks. Hopefully in the next half hour approximately, we'll have a program that maybe will be something from which you can benefit. I think there should be some educational materials, information, and perhaps we can have some inspirational moments as well. I think each part will help us immensely. It's a time of year as we are in the fall season that, of course, some places elections will be held very, very soon. Hopefully in your area, if you still have time to vote, I hope that you will do your best to go out and vote biblical principles. We must vote for the person that best represents a healthy regard for our faith, our family, and our freedoms. And we don't need those that would negate those values, that would try to tear down our faith and take away our freedoms and go further in the destruction of our families. We must stand resolute. You and I, as Christian patriots, we must do our best. And I'm going to share with you today in a little interview that I did with Pastor John Wilkerson of the First Baptist Church in Hammond, Indiana, and this was done up around Wakefield, Rhode Island. I hope you enjoy the interview. Well, I'm here today at the Save New England conference that was held at Curtis Corner Baptist Church, where Pastor Paul Chapman leads the congregation. And I'm here with Pastor John Wilkerson, who is known across America and now, of course, is the lead pastor at First Baptist Church of Hammond, Indiana. Brother Wilkerson, it's a pleasure to have you on today.
It's my honor, Brother Phipps. I'm thankful for the opportunity to get to meet you. Of course, we've seen each other at different venues, but to be able to sit down and spend a few moments together, I'm just as happy as I can be.
Well, you have preached two wonderful messages about discipleship and following the Lord, and you have given the pastors, I'm not a pastor, my son is our pastor, but you have given the people here such good information and input, I call it advice, information, materials that you have gleaned in your pastoral studies and experiences. You've had a lot of wonderful experiences, and you have shared those with the people in attendance, and I believe they appreciate it.
Well, it's a great group of men here in New England. Haven't you enjoyed the camaraderie and the teamwork?
Wonderful. Of course, we had a delicious meal today.
No, it made me sleepy after I ate it.
I fall prey to that sometimes. But your church there in Hammond First Baptist, you step right in there and seem like you just enlarged upon the coast, kind of like Jabez.
Yeah. I've been given a great gift. And of course, First Baptist Church of Hammond started in 1887 and has been going for 135 years. Just think of a church planter that went there, rented a house, started winning people to Christ, then moved to a conference room in the Morton House Hotel. 12 people signed the charter, and the rest is history. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. Good people that love the Lord, and certainly we have a lot of people to reach and a great responsibility.
Well, and of course you have brothers, Mark, Luke, and
Matthew, I sure do.
I know Brother Luke pretty well down in
Knoxville. Sure.
Yeah, we've been trying to work out a mutual time when maybe we could go there, and I'm looking forward to that. But I just wanted you to know I appreciate your involvement. I appreciate your leadership in an area, and especially in a day and time when we need men of integrity and men that that love God, men that want to do something good for the cause of Christ.
Well, I appreciate you, and I'm telling you what, this guy preached the house of storm there. He was letting us have it and did such a good job sharing God's word and challenges from the things of God. Thank you for doing the right thing, the right way, for the right reasons, for a long time.
And that's been, it seemed like it hasn't entered into my mind to quit yet, Brother Wilkerson.
Don't retire. Just keep returning.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, my dear brother.
God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Once again, here at the Save New England Conference up in the beautiful state of Rhode Island, an area where John Clark back in the 1600s came to, and then, of course, we had the first church of America that I guess that Roger Williams. There may be some debate on that, but wasn't Roger Williams considered one of the first,
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Barnes?
Yes, sir, he was. John Clark and Roger Williams. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Brother Barnes, tell us exactly what you're doing and where you are. And now you're pastor at this time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are going into evangelism here in New England for Christ Ministries. And this next summer we're starting annual citywide gospel crusades in the major cities of New England. So in the summer of 2023, starting in June the 19th through July the 16th, we are having our first citywide gospel crusade in Providence, Rhode Island, where the first church was started. And our goal and our plan, our burden, our vision, our prayer is to knock on every door in Providence, Rhode Island in a 4-week gospel campaign. And churches all over New England, we're praying for 50 independent Baptist churches to come alongside, partner with us as they're able to. And then the last week of it, we'll have a giant tent gospel crusade, gospel preaching, invite churches to come and sing in the choir with us and preach the gospel. We'll have vacation Bible schools during the day and services at night. And then our hope, our prayer, our desire, and our plan is to have a church started on July the 16th, 2023.
Isn't that exciting? That's a meeting. I wish I could be a part of that, but at least I can pray for you and wish you well, can I?
Yes, sir.
You're going to knock on every door.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's the size of Providence, Rhode Island?
Providence is 180,000 people, 45,000 plus doors. So that's a lot of doors. We need a lot of help, a lot of hands on deck.
Well, God bless you, Brother Barnes, and it's certainly been my pleasure meeting here today at the conference. I'm glad we got to be together.
Yes, same here, sir. Thank you. We're glad you're here. Thank you so much.
Just the best one? That's the best news you'll ever hear.
If you'd like to have any of our products, we do have a Faith, Family, and Freedom handbook. We have some DVDs. We did one with Pastor Jim Scudder in Washington, D.C. a little over a year ago. It's called Can You Find God in D.C.? I think you will enjoy the beautiful programming that was done in the Jefferson and Lincoln Memorials and other places. If you want any of our products, just call us or get in touch with us as would be indicated there on the screen.
It's time to plan for the 47th Annual Southern Gospel Singing at Sea Cruise. Join Andrew and Shirlene Phipps as you depart from Port Canaveral for the trip, January 30th through February 3rd, 2023, for warm sunshine and tropical breezes in the Caribbean. With 30 of the top Southern Gospel groups in the nation, you will be entertained and you'll be inspired by the best in Southern Gospel preaching. Dine on delicious foods, see the sights, and bask in the warm glow of Christian fellowship on the world's largest all-Christian cruise to the Bahamas. Hurry, because this trip of a lifetime sells out fast. All that is needed now is a small deposit, and you can continue to pay over time. For more information, call Andrew Phipps at 765-744-4239.
The weather is heating up, and so are the deals. It's time for spring specials at Sam Pierce Chevrolet in Daleville. Lease a new Chevy Equinox LS for only $159 a month, or lease a new Chevy Blazer for just $269 per month. Save thousands on nearly 200 pre-owned vehicles in stock, all with the warranty and complimentary maintenance. Hurry, once these vehicles are gone, so are the special prices. Don't miss out on the spring specials, only at Sam Pierce Chevrolet. The best Chevy deals are in the country.
And friends, we do have a website. It's Andrew Phipps, or look for it under Faith, Family, and Freedom. Most of our programs, I believe, are also shared on YouTube. We also are guests every week on Real America's Voice with Ed Henry, Karen Turk, and sometimes Mr. Terrence there as well. So that's a privilege. So you can remind yourself, if you'd like to join us for the little interviews that we do, they're on each week, and we're grateful for that opportunity. Also, I want to share with you that we have a Facebook account. Our number is just about full from time to time, but our purpose in Facebook is to share information like we're trying to do here today, little nuggets or snippets, put them under whatever category, but these are little things that come to mind that I think might help us to live better lives. Perhaps we can make the quality a little bit better. At least we can speak to what we believe. And we don't want it to be done abrasively. We don't want to be ugly as we present it, but we want to speak the truth in love. You know, truth becomes hate to those who hate the truth. And we must have truth regardless. And so we're going to share with you today, perhaps maybe two of the more recent Facebook accounts. And again, if you'd like to take a look at them, we have those available for you. Let's see what's presented here. November the 23rd, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, went to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, to dedicate a cemetery. The prior speaker was the well-known orator Edward Everett. He spoke for about 2 hours. Later, he remarked that he wished that he could have capsulized in his 2 hours of remarks what Abraham Lincoln was able to do in his address that consisted of 267 words. Abraham Lincoln, who relied basically on 3 sources, I was told by one of his biographers in Washington, D.C., he read the Bible, the Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution. And his phraseology and his ability to capture the essence of what we as a nation were dedicated and what we were all about has probably never been better stated than what he said at that particular time. And here is the famous Gettysburg Address. 87 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives as a place that this nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor pal to add or detract. The world will little note or long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here, dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. And friends, once again, if you enjoy this kind of programming, I would deeply appreciate it if you would tell others about it. And our goal is to be a blessing. We don't want to be a burden to people. And we feel that in the context of the times in which we find ourselves, somebody said that probably the reason we're facing perilous times is that maybe these may be powerless times in so many churches. You know, our churches have to have the power of God on them, in order for us to have any positive results whatsoever. And I want to share with you today just a few thoughts here. Perhaps we can make them come together. I want to share with you, first of all, if you like this kind of program, be sure that maybe you might pray about how that you could help us. We're not begging, we're not going to do that. But obviously we have to have help. And so if your church, I'm out of the Liberty Baptist Church, which is an independent Baptist church in Muncie, Indiana. Our son is our pastor, and that's where we attend church and support it financially. But if you'd like to be a part of helping, that would be wonderful. Let me also just tell you that we're available. If you ever feel that we could help out in a service or a special meeting, a conference, well, that would be great. We try to get around the country as much as possible. We still have a few states that I haven't spoken in, and I want to do that. Also, we're in the process of having a book written. It's called It's Always a Struggle, But, and I wanted to have it done by now, but it looks like it's going to be still a little way off. Also, in maybe April, around the middle of April of 2023, we're going to do a trip to England and Scotland where we will trace our religious heritage. People like John Bunyan and people like Charles Spurgeon and the Wesleys and maybe Knox up in Scotland. And so we'll be saying more about that perhaps in maybe the very next program. But we'll be back after this break right here. If you'd like to have any of our products, we do have a Faith, Family, and Freedom Handbook. We have some DVDs. We did one with Pastor Jim Scudder in Washington, D.C. a little over a year ago. It's called Can You Find God in D.C.? I think you will enjoy the beautiful programming that was done in the Jefferson and Lincoln Memorials and other places. If you want any of our products, just call us or get in touch with us as would be indicated there on the screen. And once again, may I implore you, if you still have an opportunity to vote in your area, if the election is not passed and where you see this and you have an opportunity to vote, be sure that you do that. It's one of the rights that we enjoy as citizens to be able to participate in what we call a participatory democracy. This is a representative a constitutional republic, but we also have the right to vote, and we must do that. And I think if Christians particularly would get excited about being involved as best you can, I think it would be a wholesome thing. I think we need Christians to run for office. I think we need Christians to be engaged, to help others that might want to run. And we must do all that we can do. You know, we had the Black Robe Brigade back at the outset of the American Revolutionary War period, that era. We've had people down through our history that spoke out social injustices, whether it was a child labor or the civil rights movement or whatever. And I think today the pulpits ought to be aflame, preaching on righteousness and judgment to come and helping others to do our best to save this great country. Now, I do implore you to do your best because we must not let the occasion slip away. I don't want to be one of those, as Reagan reminded us, President Reagan, to one day have to maybe answer to somebody, and they might say, what was it once like to live in a country where men were free? And I hope that you'll pray that God will give us opportunities that maybe we can reach more people. We're trying to reach as many as we can reach, whether it be television, radio, tracts, whether it's through speaking appointments, Facebook, our website, all of those are available. And if you'd like to get our emails, just send your email on the contact information, and we'll make sure that you get the files, that you get the clips. Now, we are also on YouTube, so those are places where you might find our programming, and we're hoping that as Jabez prayed there, that the Lord would enlarge his coast, that maybe our coast, that we could reach more people. The Bible says, and God granted him that which he requested. So the Lord's not slack concerning his promises, and the bank of heaven is not bankrupt. We don't try to beg, or we're not charlatans. We're not trying to fleece the public. We're just telling folks that there's hope in Christ, that we need to encourage ourselves in the Lord, that we need to be ambassadors for Christ. We need to be the light of the world, the salt of the world, and we need to share the good news that Christ is that living water, the manna from heaven. And so I hope that you enjoy the program. If you do, well, tell others about it, or if you'd like to send us a letter or something, that would be great. We would enjoy the fellowship and hearing from you. But again, let's do our job now as citizens. Let's not throw it away or dismiss it. Let's not have a casual attitude about it. We must, in fact, stand for God, stand for this republic, and stand for the faith of our fathers. I'll be looking forward to being with you at the next time, but this is Andrew Phipps. Have a good day.